Hello, welcome to the orientation for Management Advisory Group's Job Profile Questionnaire. The purpose of this presentation is to share with you the following goals to help you understand what it is your employer hopes to accomplish as a result of this study, to talk about the role of you as an employee, the role of supervisors. We'll talk about the Job Profile Questionnaire, which is the tool we're going to ask you to use, and we will wrap up with the next steps. This project, in the most simplistic terms, is designed to ensure that employees are compensated fairly and that the organization that you work for is able to recruit and retain excellent employees. This project is not designed as an organization study. It is also not designed to do a performance evaluation of your job. Along the way, we also cannot guarantee salary increases as a result of this study. However, our company is not in the habit of recommending salary decreases. We as a company do not recommend salary decreases. The federal labor courts have ruled that there are two experts for every job in the United States, the employee and the supervisor. In order to more effectively capture the information about your job, we're going to ask you to fill out a job profile questionnaire. We will also ask your supervisor to review that. When they review the questionnaire, they are not allowed to change any of your answers, nor can they delete any of your answers. They can only give us additional information. The tool that we're going to ask you to use is the Job Profile Questionnaire. This is an online tool. It's designed to be done in small chunks of time. As you find time between answering calls or filing paperwork or between running jobs, we ask that you work on the questionnaire. It's about 20 questions long, but they don't have to be answered all at once. You can answer a question or two during each day throughout the study process until the questionnaire period is closed, and you'll have plenty of time to complete the questionnaire. We are looking for 100% participation. We'd like everyone to have the opportunity to work on a questionnaire. The good news is if you're a member of a team of people, you have the same job, you do the same work, and you report to the same person, you could sit down as a team and complete the questionnaire together. And then on the last page of the questionnaire, you can tell us who participated. We do ask that supervisors review questionnaires because together the employee and the supervisor are subject matter experts. Now, supervisors cannot change any answers that an employee gives, nor can they delete any answers. Most of the time, supervisors don't leave comments unless there's a new employee. The new employee just doesn't understand the entire job, so supervisors can fill in any missing information for us. To begin the job profile questionnaire, please use your favorite web browser and point to www.magintl.org. After the page loads, please scroll down until you find the Job Profile Questionnaire Learn More button. Please click on that. Do not click on the Salary Survey button, as we already know how much you make. We are interested in learning more about what you do with your job. When you click on JPQ, you will be presented with a list of our recent and most current clients. Scroll through until you find your employer's name, and then click on that. You will be challenged for your username and your password. In both cases, that's usually your employee ID. That number will go in both boxes. And put your employee ID number in both boxes and then click the Go button. There are some instructions and buttons that are critical for your success in completing the questionnaire. The first button I want to point out is the Save My Questionnaire button. If you cannot complete the questionnaire in one sitting, it's important to click that button before you close your browser window. If you've answered 5 questions and you don't click that button and you close your browser window with the intention of answering the questionnaire at a later point in time, you will lose your work. So please make sure that you click Save often. The second button I want to talk about is the Expand All Sections button. When you click on this, all the questions in the questionnaire and their answer selections will be available for you to review. The next button I want to talk about is the print button. You can use the print button after using the expand all sections button to print out a blank copy of the questionnaire. Then, if you're old school, you can answer the questions on paper first and then come back in and answer them on the computer. You can also use this option after you've answered all of the questions so that you have a copy of your answer documentation. I would use the print and save it as a PDF so that I had a computer file. Lastly, there's a button there that says I've completed my questionnaire and am submitting it for supervisor review. You can only click on that button after you've answered all of the questions with an asterisk. They have to have some information in those boxes. When you click on that, the button that says supervisor review, I have finished, you will be locked out of the questionnaire. You won't be able to go in and look at your answers, nor will you be able to go in and change any answers. So only click on that button when you're done with all of your edits. The one thing that we need for you to do here is just once use the set supervisor function and follow the instructions on how to tell us who is the person who completes your annual performance review, or if there is no annual performance review at your agency, it's typically the person who you request time off from. Now, sometimes employees have their job titles have changed, or they feel that their job titles no longer fit. You can use the working job title box here to tell us what you feel your job title should be. Let's change gears and talk about question types. In question 5, we're asking you to identify the essential tasks in your job. These are tasks that take at least 10% of your time. So that's more than 4 hours a week or more than 5 weeks total out of the entire year. So these would be big ticket items, not the minutia everyday things that you perform. If you want hints and tips on items that might belong in here, take a look at your existing job description. If there's something in your job description that accurately describes something you're doing, then feel free to copy and paste that into a task box. If there's something on your job description that you haven't done in a minute and you don't know if you'll ever do it again, we don't need to know that. Do not copy and paste that. Likewise, if there's something that you're doing now that's not on your job description, you're going to have to write a statement up for us into one of the task boxes. Once you get up to 10 task statements written, then we want you to estimate the percentage of time that it takes for each task. We recognize that not every task is done every day, so you can also set the frequency. Whether it's a percentage of a day, percentage of a week, all the way out to percentage of a year. And then we want you to rank for us the top 5 most significant tasks that you perform in your job. There are 14 multiple choice questions of the 20 questions. And this is an example of one of those. We want you to read through all of the options, find the one that best fits your job, and select it. Now you'll notice at the bottom of this page there's a comment box. All of our questions have a comment box. We value your opinion so much that we'd like you to leave us a comment on every page. Even if you have nothing to say, then please just click or type in NA. These are all the different job questions, the different question types that we're going to ask you. We feel that each and every one of these adds value to the job. I'm not going to spend a lot of time going over each and every one of these, but talk about education and experience. For both education and experience, we want you to tell us what is the minimum requirement for the job that you do. For someone new coming into the job, what is the minimum that they need in terms of both education and experience? We're not asking you what degrees you have. We want you to tell us what the minimum is required. If there are any special certifications or licenses that folks need to do the same work that you do, then please tell us what those are on this page as well. These 2 pages are different from all the others in the questionnaire because you can select more than one box. Question 19 asks about unavoidable hazards. These are risks that people do because of the work itself. So for example, electricians face the risk of electrical shock. Every day, they should check that box. If you work outside, you're exposed to extremes of heat and cold and dust and mold and pollen. Most of us who work in office jobs, none of these really apply to the work that we do, so we often see none checked as well. For the sensory requirements, we want you to tell us what are the physical senses that are required to do the job. Now, if you can do your job with an assistive device or reasonable accommodation, then please don't check the box. So for example, if you can do your job wearing eyeglasses or hearing aid, or wheelchair or walker, cane, those types of things, then you wouldn't check that appropriate box. By checking these boxes, you're telling us this is a job requirement. And if you do check a box on these 2 pages, please give us specific examples, because then we can share that with your human resources department. They can write future help wanted ads and say that our experts say that this is a requirement. Employees have approximately 2 weeks to complete the questionnaire. We then give supervisors an additional week to review those completed questionnaires. While that process is going on, we will be working on the market survey, comparing the salaries and compensation at your organization to other target agencies. When the questionnaires have been completed, we will begin the classification review, reading all of those questionnaires to make sure that folks are properly classified and that we understand the work that's being done. When the classification review and the market survey are done, we will write our draft proposal. We'll submit that to your leadership. They'll have time to review that, make any recommendations. We'll take those recommendations into account, and then we will write and prepare and present our final report. One last thing. If you have any questions regarding this study, please contact your local human resources department. If you have any technical questions about the job profile questionnaire, please send those via email to info@maginc.org. Thank you for listening to this presentation.